Well, welcome to everyone. We can start with a short vandanam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishikanvitamscha Om Jnana Timarandasya Ginanjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchatat Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Well, we were given a beautiful topic today. Seva Didi picked the fruit of the Vedas. And we have heard a little something, but I found in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can simply review and hope that everyone will speak as they are inspired on this beautiful topic. There's a purport by Srila Prabhupada to the verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, number 5, chapter 30th verse, where he says, Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nigama kalpa turor galitam palam. The Vedic instructions are like a tree of which Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit. Narada Muni is engaged in distributing this fruit, and therefore he instructed Vyasadeva to write this Mahapurana, Srimad Bhagavatam, for the benefit of ignorant human society. The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compile the Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth. Now, another verse he's quoting from Bhagavatam from the first canto. People are suffering because of ignorance and are following a wrong path for happiness. This is called anartha. These material activities will never make them happy, and therefore Narada instructed Vyasadeva to record the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva actually followed Narada and did this. Srimad Bhagavatam is the supreme instruction of the Vedas, Galitam Palam. The ripened fruit of the Vedas is Srimad Bhagavatam. And the verse that he's referring to here is 176. The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compile this Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is in relation to the supreme truth. Okay. Now, Sevarupa is bringing up this article that was published in Gaudiya Darshan, wherein Srila Guru Maharaj expands on this. He's describing the Bhagavad has been described as the ripe fruit of the tree of the Veda. The Veda has produced out of its own accord this fruit. What is that? Rasa, Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, Rajendra Nandan. This is the ripe product of the tree of the Veda. Veda means the embodiment of revealed truth. The inner current of the Veda is producing fruit, and that fruit, when ripe, is Bhagavatam. So the natural gift of the Veda is Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, but we, out of our own prejudice, try not to get something from the tree of the Veda. The animals try to chew the leaves of the tree. Others cut wood from the tree, but the real natural product of the Veda is the fruit, the Akila Rasamrita Murti. The natural gift of the Veda, the highest living revealed truth, is Krishna, Raso Vaisai. He is Rasa. That plane is made of faith. Guru Maharaj continues, through your faith you can get the rasa of the highest order. That is the gift of all the Vedas, and Veda Mata Gayatri also aims at that very object. I have tried my best to show that sort of meaning coming from Gayatri. Gayatri means Ganatrayate, by chanting which we can get liberation. And what is the definition of liberation? Swarupena vyavastiti. To engage ourselves in our innermost duty. That is what Gayatri is directed towards. And the Krishna Vamsi, Krishna's flute, is also doing the same thing. In the highest place, we find proper adjustment. Be ready for my service. That is the sound. The sound gives that impression, inspiration to anyone and everyone. Come to my sweet service. Engage yourself to my sweet service. That is the call of the flute of Krishna and Veda Mata Gayatri, who has produced the Veda. What is present in the flute is present in Gayatri as a seed. Then in the middle, it is the Veda, the Shruti, then Vedanta, and then Bhagavatam at the top. Now, another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, one line, Nigama Kalpator Galitam Palam. That's the third verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter. Vyasadeva says in the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam, what is this? What is the necessity, this new book you are giving to the society? This is the Nigama Kalpator Galitam Phalam. Nigama means the Veda, and that is compared to a tree. This Bhagavatam is natural ripe fruit, come of its own accord from that tree. It is not anything pressed or anything forcibly attached to that. Of its own accord, the tree is giving fruit, and when the fruit is ripe, it is Bhagavatam. So drink the juice. That's exactly what Guru Maharaj says. Oh, if you have real thinking capacity, any normal hankering, you must come to drink this rasam. This is the natural product of the Veda Kalpataru, wish-fulfilling tree of the Vedas, whose seed is Gayatri, Ganat Trayate. If you chant the Gayatri mantra, Trayate, you will be liberated, emancipated. And the positive conception of liberation is Swarup Siddhi, self-determination. In self-determination, you must come in connection with Krishna in different rasas to get your assured and attached service, and thereby you can imbibe the real juice to make your life fulfilled. Your fulfillment of life is there. Everyone's fulfillment is connected there. All your attempts otherwise are all fruitless labor. Utilize your energy only in the proper way to make your life successful. This is for all. This advice from the revealed scriptures is to all of us. Shrinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putra. O you sons of nectar, sons of nectarian ocean sea, please listen to me. You are born in Amrita. You were born to taste Amrita, and you must not allow yourself to be satisfied by anything but Amrita. So anyhow, misguided for the time being, but awake, arise and search for Amritam, that nectar, that satisfaction. Om is a big yes. Yes, what you are searching, that is. Don't be disappointed. What is the inner search in you all that exists? The Veda, the revealed scriptures, they say, they assert, declare, announce. That is existing. What is the common search of all your hearts? That is existing. Purely that is existing. And your thirst will be quenched. You are really meant for that. By construction, you deserve it. So don't be afraid, don't be cowed down. You are Amritasya Putra. In your being, that thing is given. Already it is there. So you can never be satisfied anywhere with anything else but this thing. So prepare yourself to receive, after your long search, this long missing Amritam in the full form and full quality. We should have no other business, no other engagement than Krishnanusandam. Krishnanusandam. Our Guru Maharaj declared total war against this mind. He used to say one thing: what is the strength of Mayic reason? It is like the leg of a cock, a rooster. Apparently it is very strong, but how much strength is really there? The cock only moves, gestures, posture that his leg is very strong. So Maya also moves with that sort of vanity. I have got much power. But in comparison with Krishna consciousness, what power can she possess? So don't be afraid of Maya. You are an Amritasya Putra, which is child of nectar. Shrinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putra. This grand tone, divine tone, this call, comes from that quarter, the divine quarter. Awake, arise, search for your fortune, and you cannot but have that. It is your birthright, Swarup Gata Sampad. It is the wealth of your own soul. So it is there, the relativity of the highest divinity. It cannot but be within you. You are His creature. You exist in His connection and relativity. So you must have some connection or other within you. So don't be afraid of your present position. Don't be disappointed. In this way, you are to preach to the world at large. Come one and all. You all want rasam, anandam. Anandam Brahmano Vidvan. The whole Anandam is differentiated and personified in Krishna, in Vrindavan, and that is very magnanimously being distributed in Navadvip. So come. It would be better to come and flock together in Navadvip. There we get the ticket, and then we may go to Vrindavan. In Navadvip also, we will find that there is the Vrindavan rasa with some medicine. The diet with some medicine is applied. It is given here and easily digested. So again and again, Srila Guru Maharaj is trying to convince us, to truly get through to us, that we're not from this soil. This is not where we're from. And all of the Vedas are there, but the ripened fruit of all of the Vedas is Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is Bhagavatam saying again and again and again? That we are meant to go to the service of Krishna in the line of Srimati Radharani.
Jai.
So, who is thinking of some inspiration that this brings? on this or any topic.
You can ask if they have any questions.
Yeah. Anybody have a question, comment? Maybe we can switch screens too.
Dandavats, this is Fraja Sundari T.D. May I please share what happens in my mind, yes, when I'm listening to this topic?
Yes, please.
Okay. Um, I read some of these scriptures, yes, for example, Srimad Bhagavatam and those lines about fruit, yes, that Srimad Bhagavatam is ripened fruit. And at this moment, I'm thinking about Jaiva Dharma, because in Vedas we have many different scriptures and texts, also Vedangas, for example, Jyotish astrology and Ayurveda, yes, and different scriptures which are given to people to know how to live the life in this material life, yes, how to perform their dharma, and even for those who are eating meat, how to eat meat and which mantras to use when you're eating meat. But Srimad Bhagavatam is a ripened fruit because it guides us, yes, and it can help us to come to the Lord, yes, to the most important, because this is we live in Mrityu Loka, where everything is dying. And I also remember words of our teachers and maybe scriptures, yes, that the real happiness is that the happiness which is eternal, which cannot be finished. So we cannot find happiness in this Mrityu Loka, yes, the world Mrityu means death, in this world of death which lasts forever. And at some moment we cut ourselves from Krishna, yes, and only Krishna can give us this. Actually, we can give us to Krishna, yes, but at this moment we will feel eternal happiness. But mostly we do not think about it, and we are looking for some happiness here and there. Someone is eating meat, someone is doing this and this, some different material things. But all these kinds of happiness are not satisfying us fully. Still, we are looking for something more, because actually we are looking for Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam can guide us and can lead us to Krishna. That's why it is a ripened fruit. This is what happens in my mind. Like what for to read, for example, scriptures about how to eat meat, or for example, how to at what day to perform this or that action due to astrology. Actually, I'm an astrologer. That's why I'm saying these things. Yes, it is the same as to give water to also like to flowers, to fruits, but not to roots of the tree. And Srimad Bhagavatam is leading us to the roots of the tree. Yes, to the most important. That's why it is ripened food. But it is how I understand it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai.
Jai, beautiful.
Yes.
Why you don't turn on the light? You are so in the darkness.
Because there are nearby my children who are falling asleep.
Okay, there was a question.
Yes, there is a question how to get this fruit of the Veda.
Aha.
From
Priya.
Priyanana. How should we proceed to this fruit?
I was going to see if he says exactly that.
Yes, you can say something.
She's looking.
Earlier in here, he's speaking of Gayatri mantra, and when he's explaining about the Gayatri mantra and being the flute song of Krishna, he starts off by saying the plane is made of faith. So we were just reading about how if you want to smell something, you will take that object. If you want to see something, you will look at that object. But if you want to experience Krishna, then you will have faith. So faith is the means by which we get that. And that what is that fruit of the Vedas that Srimad Bhagavatam is talking about? It's the service to Krishna, that our position is eternally trying to please Krishna, and everything is to bring us to that. He's telling us about everything that leads up to that, all of the devotees and how they proceed, how they try to serve, and the things that they go through, and the ultimate end is Radha Dasyam. Srila Guru Maharaj actually says these exact words, drink the juice. So the juice is coming from the fruit of that tree, and so there's in the tree there's the branches and the leaves, and some people are using a tree for this or for that. Some people are taking the wood, but what we're meant to do is to take the fruit of the tree and drink that juice. So this is our practicing Krishna consciousness, associating always with the devotees and hearing from all of these scriptures. And our Guru's words are non-different from those scriptures.
Okay, more questions? If no any question, maybe Chinua, you can add some masala.
Yeah.
Dandavat pranams to everyone. So on the subject tonight, we've heard some wonderful katha from Srila Guru Maharaj and from Srila Swami Maharaj. And of course, they say it better than we ever could. So the fruit of the Vedas, you can say that there are many fruits, actually, of the Vedas. Devi, if I unpin, remove pin. Scusa, I'm sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties. That one. Okay. And so there's many fruits in the Vedas. There's many different, as Raja Sundari was saying, whatever you really want to do in this material world, the Vedas can provide the means to do that with some spiritual backing, some religious backing, even if it's maybe a little material. There's still something there. And so Vedavyas, he composed the Puranas, the Upanishads, Srimati, Shruti, all these scriptures describing the material life, spiritual life, and how to make some progress in the material world and to the spiritual world. And as he's reflecting on everything that he's done, this incredible work that he's done, service he's done for the Lord, he is unsatisfied. He's feeling some unsatisfaction within his heart, and he cannot understand it. Why? And Narad Goswami, his guru, he comes and he senses that Vedavyas is having some difficulty, and as Gurudev Srila Govinda Maharaj says, Narad Goswami says to Vedavyas, "You nonsense! What have you given to the people?"
Gala gala.
Yeah, you have given all these scriptures, but you have not really given the nectar of spiritual life, of the transcendental world. You've not shown the people the highest goal of life. You've cheated the people, in fact. And so he instructs, gives the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam for Veda Vyas to meditate on. And through that, we get the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the culmination, the fruit of the Vedas. What's the highest goal that the Vedas are directing us towards, pointing us towards? And that is service to Krishna. Jiver Swarup Nityadas. We're eternal servant of Lord Krishna. That is the ultimate goal of our life, is to realize that position. And so, here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that's why it's considered the highest scripture within our line, is because that is being given by, was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, and revealing the position of Krishna and the position of the pure devotees of Krishna. But we can say that although, again and again, we can say that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest scripture, we have been given something that's just maybe a little bit higher, and that's the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami does not mention once the name of Srimati Radharani. But within the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's all about it's all about Srimati Radharani. It's all about not taking us from being Krishna Das to being Radha Das, from being a servant of Krishna to being a servant of Srimati Radharani. And that actually is the highest goal that can ever be conceived of, is to be a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So if we say that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the fruit of the Vedas, what can we say about the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? There's one famous poet, and I always forget his name, who says, where would we be? What would we do if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had not come and revealed these divine topics? These unbeknown before these topics. There's unbefore knowns. Yeah. It's a complicated word. But anyways, these topics were not known before. These were being given for the first time by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These topics of Radha Govinda and the highest attainment of life, union and separation. So we have been given that, and as Krishna, or as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, the way to attain this, Jiver Swarup Krishna Das. Be an eternal servant of Lord Krishna. Always try to awaken that serving mood within yourself. Srila Maharaj talks about the Amrita. That famous shloka is that you are sons of nectar, you were born to taste nectar. Don't try to taste anything else but this nectar. This nectar, what is it? It's service. It's service to Lord Krishna. We were reading today in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the gopis, they are tasting this nectar. But they're not really interested in this nectar, actually. What they're interested in is serving the Lord. So their whole existence is for giving pleasure to the Lord, for giving enjoyment to the Lord. As a byproduct, they get Amrita, they get nectar, they get joy, happiness. But that is not their real consideration as why they are serving the Lord. Because in the Srimad Bhagavatam, or Sri Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I reward one according to his degree of surrender, his or her degree of surrender. So, as much as we surrender unto the Lord, He will compensate for that, or recompensate for that. He will give us, He will reveal Himself to us, to the amount that we surrender to Him. But the gopis, Srimati Radharani, their surrender is so complete. What they are giving is so great that even Krishna can't recompensate for that. He is lacking in the ability to give the gopis and Srimati Radharani what they are giving him. This is a really incredible portion of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that we're reading this time, and maybe a little difficult to understand. But this is the position of someone who's under the guidance of Radha Dasya, of the service mood of Srimati Radharani. And that is to always just give oneself completely, without hesitation. And the compensation for that, it's prema, Krishna prema. Not that we're looking for that, not that this is why I want to serve Krishna, because I will get Krishna prema. The reason we want to serve Krishna is because Krishna is beautiful. Krishna is sweet. Krishna is absolute. This is why we want to serve Krishna, not any desire for something that we will get in return. Although the Lord is promising, I will reward you according to your surrender. This is not our consideration. Our consideration is to fully give ourselves only for the satisfaction of the Lord. And so the fruit of the Vedas, yes, very sweet. The Srimad Bhagavatam, very, very sweet. But I think we can say, maybe, I don't know, I tend to think this, is that that the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is even sweeter. And one time, Srila Janardana Maharaj, he was joking a little bit, but he would say that the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedas, and all like that, that's like university study, stuff like that. But Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that's postgraduate study. That's a deep dive into like spiritual life and spiritual understanding in the transcendental world, and the highest conception that's ever been given to the living entities. And so for that, we're eternally grateful. And the only thing we can do is just to serve with our words, body, and mind continuously, 24 hours a day, the Lord and His Vaishnavas. And it's through the Vaishnavas, it's through the Sadhu, it's through Guru that we are able to serve Krishna at all, because they are the ones giving us this opportunity to serve. So Jai Vaishnavas. Jai.
Hari. Too much nectar. More questions.
More questions? Any questions, comments? If not, Munindra will have to speak. I can't see the clock anyway. Non posso vedere. Cosa?
8:05.
Dandava a tutti i devoti. Very nice topic, beautiful talk we heard from the devotees. What can I say more? English really doesn't come in this time in the night, but you know, Veda, you all know Veda means knowledge, to know. So the Vedas are manifested together with the creation as a sound, as we heard before from Kumkum. Gayatri, Veda Mata, the mother of the Veda is Gayatri, it's come from Krishna's flute. So original are sounds, Shruti mantra, and there are four principal Veda: Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda, and Sama Veda, right? So 4 Veda, but actually in our school, Rig Veda a little bit, because Rig Veda, I heard from Gurudev, is very metaphysic, but the other are all dealing with the Karma Kanda basically. So already in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, just forget Sarvadharma Parityaja Mamekam Saranam Braja. You already reject all the Dharma. So the fifth aim of the religiosity, that's our main subject in our school. No, the other four, we just don't care. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Religiosity, I mean, Kaitava, material motivated religiosity. Then economic development, then enjoyment, and then liberation. Those four direction towards the Veda leads people, we don't really care. So our spiritual master already threw us in the nectar section, in the fruit dispensation, ripened fruit, and more sweet fruit, because Sukadeva tasted it. So the Bhagavatam is already very sweet, but because Sukadeva tastes, Suka, our parrot speaker of the Bhagavatam, become more sweet. And so we don't really care other message of the Vedas. We just go towards nectar. Shrivantu Visve Amrita Putra. And in the Veda also always good, included also Upanishad and Purana and everything. But already our spiritual master extract the quintessence, what is in alchemy is called the more subtle, the more precious essence of something, which is the Krishna Lila and the sweetness part of the Absolute, the charming part of the Absolute, and the chance that has been given to the conditional soul to have a little part of in the service of the divine couple, to our inconceivable extension of mercy from our masters. So this is, I mean, how we can accept how we can get the fruit of the Veda. We are already in there. I mean, we are already in the school. Just we have to follow our spiritual master and forget every other branches of the Vedas, which is not really the main goal of life. Jai.
Jai.
So, Kumkum, I think you have to add something because we still have some.
Okay. Do you want to say something? Can you think? I have some inspiration. So we hope that this makes everyone feel a close connection with our gurus are always giving us so many important points, and this is one that attaches to many of them. And one reason we always read several times every single day for our entire life is because we begin to see how they interact with each other. So this is reminding us of what our dear friends, God brothers and God sisters are doing right now, going to India and touring. And in one sense, this is the most alive that a devotee can be, to be actually engaging in attending places where Sri Mahaprabhu had his pastimes, and to sit in the same veranda like Srivasangam or so many places. So it's important for us to have a very solid background. Our gurus are non-stop giving us this kind of background. We're not just, it's not that we have a finite philosophy or our classes are finite, like, well, you've already reached the top of what they've given. It's not like that at all. It's always going on and on, and even the parts which we have read many, many times. We all know that we read them again and we gain something completely fresh that we never heard before. So one thing I've been thinking is listening to Chinmoy Prabhu and Manindra Mohan Prabhu talking about the essence of tonight's topic is if we did not want to be tasting this nectar, if we were interested in the Vedas, like I know there are societies of very highly educated people, very great scholars, and less now as Kali Yuga advances, and they're honestly interested in all these different parts of the Vedas, and they know how to speak Sanskrit, and they do so many things, but the objectives that are there in the Vedas are, if that's what we're interested in, we're in completely the wrong place. Not only would we be working and studying very, very hard and not tasting so much nectar, maybe tasting something for the mind and the intellect, but not truly getting the end result. And then if we want to, somehow or other, we got put into this, like Manindra was saying, this big vat of sweet Amrita. And this is this is the best part of the Vedas, and that's where we are. Somehow we got put into this. And so who do we have to learn from besides our gurus? And our guru, who has he learned from? And who has he learned from? And they're all doing this all together. It's all descending from the spiritual world and then arranged according to time and circumstance. The centuries keep going further and further from when Mahaprabhu was present on the planet, and the decades keep advancing. But for example, when we saw Govinda Maharaj give his presentations, he was completely involved in our own personal lives. He knew what was happening at the country level. Wherever he would go, he would pick up what's going on in this country, and he would adapt Krishna consciousness for that. When we would see him come back from Mexico, he would imitate to us the way the dancers would dance. It's a particular cultural way that they would dance, and they're singing and they're pronouncing Jai, Jai in a little bit different way than we hear. So he would be telling us all about that. And we would hear how the devotees would not know any English, and he would not know any Spanish. And still, there would be such a connection. So many people would say, not just because somebody was translating, but so many people would just become convinced because he's still giving Mahaprabhu's mercy, just in a form how it can be appreciated for the individuals. And somehow or other, we got caught up. We got called, and this is what we have. And we're born to taste this nectar. Sometimes it feels like we have to reach out and do some practice we don't feel like doing, or maybe we're struggling with humility or not wanting to give honor and wishing that we had honor. So many things we must go through, but the answers are always there as soon as we think about the fact that we have a question or we have some struggle. The answer will immediately come to us as soon as we remember how kind our gurus are. Because, I mean, we can't leave. We can't leave this very, very sweet source of reminding us. When we hear that we're meant to go back to our eternal home, it's not only that, well, now I'll never have to take another birth in the miserable world again. I'll never have to suffer, the pangs of pain in this world, like birth and and disease and getting old and all of the horrible sadness that comes when I see the tragedies that happen outside myself to those I love and even to strangers. We hear about terrible tragedies, but when we think about wanting to go back to home, back to Godhead, it's not just to avoid all of that. It's because this is what we are made of, is this nectar. This is what we are born for. It's the only thing which will ever make us feel fulfilled. This is how they are designing everything for us. When we're reading a lot now in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the fourth chapter, the confidential reasons for Mahaprabhu's appearance, and they're so amazing. And to think, I mean, Krishna is coming in the form of a devotee. I remember when I first heard that, I thought, oh, okay, he's showing us how to chant. You raise your hands and there's a dance, and this is the Maha Mantra, and there are other. This is not the only thing he does to be an example of a devotee. He's experiencing, he's showing his experiences of his loving affairs with his close associates, who he brought with him when he came here. So we're also witnessing that, his great love in every detail. We keep reading more and more about his great, great love, that he feels separation from Krishna. How can that be? And we can't understand it with our mind, but somehow or other, the more we hear about these things, we start to feel the understanding. And that is why we want to continue. So this, as Chinmoy Prabhu was saying, the result of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is we're meant to serve Krishna. Actually, that's the end result of Bhagavad Gita as well. But when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita and the other books by our gurus, especially when they're commenting on these same topics, they're saying the very same thing for us at the very level that we require. And when we hear that it's our birthright, then we know that this means that there is nothing our guru will not attempt to do for us. It's simply for us to accept and to allow them to put this nectar, to water this seed which they have planted inside us. They're all trying so hard to serve their guru. That's their only desire, knowing this is what will please Krishna, to bring the lost souls back to Krishna. Krishna has everything, everything. We can't even begin to conceive of giving him something that he doesn't have. But what is it that he wants? The one thing that he doesn't have is our heart, because he won't force us to give that. So he can't give that unless someone persuades us to desire to give that. So that's why they have us in this school. You chant Hare Krishna, you learn about chanting Hare Krishna. It's not just these words, 3 different words in a particular formation. It's about chanting without offense. It's about knowing who else is chanting with you, who is senior to you, who is there to help you, who is there to show you what Sri Krishna wants, what the Holy Dham wants, what all of the Vaishnavas around you want, is something better for you than you could imagine wanting for yourself. So it's for us simply to accept. And we see so many examples of devotees that they're practicing, but you see, why are they so enthusiastic? It's because they're experiencing what our gurus are telling us is here, is coming for us. At any rate, we do have a few more minutes. Does somebody want to say something?
If you want to translate what I say.
Okay. Prabhana Prabhu is going to say something in Italian, and I will try to translate if he speaks slowly enough.
Quello che mi è venuto in mente
Oh, yeah,
è
okay.
che
What came in my mind?
è molto semplice,
It's very
è molto
simple.
semplice. Quello che ci viene detto dai nostri maestri
What has been said by our spiritual masters.
è un semplice invito
And it's a simple invite
per provare direttamente
to taste directly
il frutto, il nettare.
the fruit, the nectar.
Come l'esempio io ti posso dire, questo frutto è buonissimo.
And for example, I could say this fruit is very wonderful.
Fantastico.
Fantastic.
Però fino a che tu non lo provi, posso fare filosofia, posso spiegartelo in 1000 parole, ma non potrai sentire mai.
But until the point where you taste it, you could talk about the philosophy and all this discussion about the fruit. You will never know.
Bisogna fare le cose più semplicemente, provare, seguire il cammino che i nostri maestri ci hanno mostrato.
So you have to do the things. We have to do the things most simple in the most simple way. We have to try it.
I nostri maestri ci hanno insegnato tutto, sadhu sangha, le offese,
And the
canto
spiritual
del
masters
Signore,
have taught us everything. Sadhu
il
Sangha,
servizio ai devoti.
the service to the devotees.
Then you can try.
And then you can taste if you do these things.
Very simple.
See? Very simple. Yeah, it's true.
Such nice devotees here. You just must learn Italian too. That's my opinion.
Okay, any last questions, comments? Everybody happy? Everybody will now practice Krishna consciousness all day?
Is there a comment there? A
No,
chat?
it's a thank you, I think, from Namapriya.
Yeah, Namapriya, so beautiful. Thank you all, Dhanyavad.
Much appreciation to all of you too. We have this medium so that we can be closer together in this big, beautiful world of Krishna consciousness.
So I'll just add some heavy words at the end because I've been listening to Srila Govinda Maharaj and he was telling about how Saraswati Thakur, when there was a gathering at the Mat during Navadip Dham Parikrama, and he said to all the disciples, "This is my prayer, you don't cheat me." And so all the devotees are very surprised. What? Why would we cheat Saraswati Thakur, our beloved spiritual master? And he explained is that you are here now and you are practicing Krishna consciousness, and then you're going to go home and you're going to practice your material life. Don't cheat me. If you found some value here, then you will continue wherever you go, anywhere you go, everywhere you go. Practice Krishna consciousness. Jai.
Would you like to, you want to say something in Russian? I bet she could.
Next time.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I can't see everyone necessarily. We can give our dandavat to Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Maharaj. We are worshipping his words by trying to hear and take to heart. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, without whom none of us would be here together. And all of our Guru Varga, all of the devotees all over the world. Jai, Jai.
Haribo.
Haribo. Kripa Sindhu
Haribo.
Atitana Mahavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Dandavad.
Dandavad, Dandavad.
Dandavad. Thank you.
Jai, Haribo.